defeated Kyna, Ackerman, and Hyper in the tournament are no longer threats to them here. So let's see how they're able to do in the lower bracket as we're getting into this game number 1 of this best of 5.
All right, so Hyper and Kyna Ackerman, you see them going for that very classic double Bodvar composition, whereas Use and LX, they've got the power and the range here. It's the Brynn, sure, of course, but the Gok is on screen, the Gruagok. There's going to be so much damage from each of those individual hammer hits.
We hardly see the Gruagok being brought out. It takes like a special type of Taros player to bring out the Gruagok as the choice on the skin. LX, of course, bringing a standard Brynn skin out. Then on the other side, we have 2 Bodvar players. Super normal. That's what I want to see from Hyper and Kyna Ackerman. I think it was Autumn's. They started out maybe some different characters, but then they swapped onto the Bodvars, and that's what we want to see. That's what they are born to play.
Oh, wow. I'm already seeing some, it's like a mixture of team awareness and a lack of team awareness, where there's a lot of team damage coming out from the red team when it comes to combo starters, but they're doing a very great job of being like, oh, I hit my teammate, and not following up the side air, even if they could have gotten some damage onto their opponents in the meantime. It's been keeping the game very even, however, as Use goes flying up, and that gravity cancel did not go against the recovery from the sword there, and that second sword recovery will take him down. Blue team taking a lead now as Kyna Ackerman is doing a lot of damage with the hammer here on LX.
Yeah, I guess that only hanging question is, all right, how long was Kyna Ackerman going to survive? Answered in short order. They've got the momentary power play against Hyper, but Kyna Ackerman back in the mix to try and bust that up.
They only got 2 hits on Hyper, so he was able to dodge out in time to not take too much punishment as Kyna was spawning back into the game. They now have 2 swords on the field. Oh, D-Light down sig. Hyper's the best player in the world. He's my favorite player in all of Brawlhalla because he makes the smart decisions when he needs to.
Oh, D-Light down sig is an incredibly good maneuver when it works, and we just saw it work there as Alex went down remarkably early. Now Use.
That's off a gravity cancel.
Oh.
Hyper had to fight his way back. Options were dwindling, and now Use in the hot seat. You see him getting knocked away. That left LX alone to get juggled.
Yeah. Okay. Stocks fly on either side of the screen. That's literally as wide of a view as you're ever going to get.
That was dirty.
And there's
I love
the
this team.
second down sig coming out from Kyna Ackerman. We see it from Hyper. We see it on Kyna. And now it is 3 stocks to 1 as the team combo starts.
This
again!
is the best team in the whole wide world.
No idea.
They have used more
sig.
D-Sigs in this game than I have seen this entire weekend, and that is not from a lack of Bodvar players. They are doing everything wonderful. This is why I put them in my top 3. Their team synergy is incredible. Their individual decision-making processes, absolutely incredible.
Man, I'm just looking at the efficiency of these knockouts. As soon as they get them into the red, where it's like, all right, I can end their stock, they do so. I mean, look at that. Just enough off that gravity cancel. I'm looking at these stats, doing just over 1,000 damage. If you're like, all right, you turn red at 150, that'd be 900 across the 6 stocks. So that is like so close to being perfectly on par. You couldn't have even asked for any better, just because even the knockout hit is going to add that extra 100 on top.
And I'm going to further quantify that, TWK. I'm going to give you the exact numbers to further explain the 100% correct point you just made. 168.5 damage per stock. That was 504 plus 507. Add that up. That is 1,011. Divide that across LX and Use. It's 6 stocks total. 168.5. That is 18.5 damage after you turn red, which is the standard area that you're starting to think about KOing your opponent. That's where those Bodvar D6 come in. Beautiful play from Kyna and Hyper.
No, wait. That was a lot, Sparky. Okay.
Look, dude, I'm jazzed up after those D6.
I can tell, yeah. I mean, I feel like that segment of the analysis is going to need its own spot on the Monday dev stream so that I can listen again and just be like, is what he said correct?
I mean, thank you for that. It was just lovely because, yeah, it was highly efficient, but also highly stylish.
See, TWK spoke words that I can understand. See, that I can agree with, for sure. But you know what? Despite all of that math, we've got Alex on.
These are crazy picks. These are crazy picks.
Wait, hold on. Is this Magyar?
It's Magyar and
Am I
Vector.
looking at this right? Yeah, okay. I wanted to make sure. I saw the bow. Okay.
I'm wondering if
and
this
like they're
character
winning
pick
too.
is so
it's Magyar
wild.
and Vector Switch, and they're winning.
It's so wild that I think it's throwing Kyna and Hyper for a little bit of a loop here. Of course, LX, we know LX's great sword performance from the last World Championship 1 year ago. See if either player can finish up this edge guard here. You saw the recovery come out from LX. The lead is definitely in favor of Hughes and LX in this one. There's one KO. See if they can finish this other one. They're just going to kind of let him come back.
I refuse to cast a Vector game where he does not gravity cancel neutral sync back to the stage. Come on, Hughes, let's do it. It's right, perfect opportunity. No! Yes, I haven't seen a single Vector land signature.
Man, Hyper and Kyna Ackerman, they're just happy to be knocking Hughes all around the stage. They had so much time alone with Kyna Ackerman.
Yeah, that's true. LX took a lot of damage during all that time. It's arguable that Hughes should have just side-aired off the stage just to be able to get back and help his teammate. But here he is anyways. Has the bow. Goes in for the down signature, but Hyper just falls right on top of him. And you know what?
Solid.
It wasn't a great option to punish because LX came right in. D-Light sided him. Oh, understandable. I mean, that stomp was so low. A jumping sider would not follow up there. But okay. What? Kind of Ackerman with the moves there, Sparky.
Looking good so far. Stomp side air. Both members of the red team sent to the left side. They're kind of split, using the gravity cancel to get as high as he could so that maybe he could throw his weapon away, maybe try and down air into the wall, but it's not enough. Now all of a sudden we have a lead. Well, now they're actually behind just because of the damage that Hyper has taken. He has to be careful here to not take too much. There's a neutral sig for you, Tazza. I know it's not exactly what you want, but you got to sometimes take what you can get.
Now it's time for the down signature, which absolutely won't work. But you know what? It would be pretty cool to see him go for that bombing strafe there. But no, Hyper goes into the sidelight. Sidelight nair from Hughes. Good momentum and movement from the Lance after that nair hit. I like the repositioning from Hughes. He just tries to cover Alex's positioning, noting that Alex is the most damaged of the two. Oh, but Kyna Ackerman's side air follow-ups is so good. Hyper gets the down sig. This is a really close game, too.
Oh, Hughes coming in. Neutral signature.
Wait a minute.
Not sure what that was going for.
Okay.
He actually hit the recovery. Didn't even need to chase dodge immediately. Everyone kind of backed away from him. It's now all of a sudden a 2v1. Hughes is going to fall to Hyper's recovery.
Man, that started off so incredibly well for Hughes and LX, but Hyper and Kyna Ackerman, the adjustment was there. You saw it happen right around that last third of the game. It was that turnaround after that knockout right there on the replay. And then right down to the wire here, Magyar's defense was not enough to save him there. And then it was just a cleanup.
Oh, man, and now I'm worried that the shock and awe factor of a Magyar Vector team has worn off, and Hyper and Kyna Ackerman were caught off guard at the start like we were, but after the adjustment, maybe it's not going to be enough to dig him out of this rut because it's a 2-0 lead going in for Hyper and Kyna Ackerman, and they're looking fantastic and maybe even motivated. I don't know. It could be either or, right? Maybe they wanted the rematch against Aizo and Yuki after they got 3-0'd by them in the lower bracket, but if they see them eliminated, they don't have to go through them again. They're ready to take this 3-0 and move on into top 4 of South America's BCX.
It looks like we've got a little bit of a mix and match. We're keeping the Magyar, but we're going back to the Gok.
Oh.
I think you're exactly right to point out like that shock factor, and maybe that was part of the reason they started off so strong, because LX, despite all of the work that he did in the very beginning of that game, really only did 383 damage when it comes down to it. So I think that shock factor hit, all of that greatsword experience hit initially, and then it sort of wore off. We'll see if he can bring it back this game. Maybe he just had the shock factor in the beginning, then needed some warm-up time, and now that he has that, the Magyar plus the Gruagok are what they need to come back in this.
3, 2, 1, brawl.
All right, so running it back, Mammoth Fortress. Red team, first ones to grab both of the weapons. They could turn this into quite a bit of damage. Oh my gosh, but Kyna is so good unarmed.
Yeah, Kyna's pretty good in general when it comes to following up off of their auto combos. Like, a lot of players will settle with the D-Light side air or whatever, right, and be satisfied with it. But Kyna has some crazy chase dodge follow-ups where they'll really wait to the tail end of their momentum to hit them with a second or third attack, and that unarmed play really showcases that as Hyper takes a quick stock off, uses the side sig. Alex gets in and goes out as that stomp side air hits, and Hyper forces the dodge with the weapon throw, and Alex can't even touch the edge of Mammoth Fortress, which is like twice the size in doubles as it is in singles. That's just how far he got sent flying. And now it's a huge lead.
really, really well. Plays really well in ones, which is sort of why we know Kyna a little bit more than Hyper here. But Hyper is playing incredible today as well. He's using the Bodvar down signature on sword more than Kyna is, to incredible effect. His overall just general play is really strong. When it comes to an edge guard where his opponent is already done, where they basically lost that stock, he doesn't chase too hard. He doesn't play too dangerously. I'm loving Hyper today as well. Big fan.
Ooh. Hyper gets a little unfortunate cider on his teammate there, but the Nair coming through. Man, that Magyar defense really coming in strong, but not enough there, as Kyna actually survives due to the bounce, makes it back, and Hughes still can't take off this first stock from Kyna. TWK, I don't think this is the game to win for LX and Hughes. It's looking
This
like
is
it's
about
curtains.
as bad as it can get. They're down 2-0. Hyper and Kyna Ackerman are on set point. And they're also 5 stocks to 2. LX in danger of getting knocked out here. You see Hyper trying to just track him down. Even went for the ground pound off the soft platform.
How is Kyna not getting hit? What? He got through and he went unscathed?
And
That's
that thing
no.
almost hit, dude. That was
he
so
got him.
close. Hyper, he somehow far enough away for that stomp to hit, but the side air not to hit. 4 stocks now, 3 stocks that Hughes is going to have to chew through. Now, he has those nasty, gnarly teeth to do it, but we'll see if Kyna and Hyper give him the chance.
Oh, no.
If Hyper had a weapon,
he
Hughes
almost
is
had
done.
the slide.
What?
He tried to go for the slide charge down sig. It just barely didn't have enough momentum. But then the ground pound totally caught him off guard, and that is a solid 3-0. Like and before I was kind of like, maybe it was shock factor. No, I definitely think it was. In game 2, they were just like, Vector, Magyar, what is this? And then they were like, oh, that's right. We could just play Brawlhalla. And
I got to
game
see
3
this
comes
last
in.
replay. Look at that. He hit
That's
the
so
down light
nasty.
on his teammate, used it to chase dodge down immediately into the ground pound, just so that way he could get his teammate out of the way and also get the aggression. That was phenomenal.
That's so
quick thinking.
nasty. Hyper is a disgusting player. I love it. I love every second of it. This is a PR.